Hello, and welcome to Improvisations on Growth with Madhu. I'm Siedler, business and life coach. Your hostess for this podcast series is Adina Arhire, bringing you a new topic. What does it mean being right? Have you ever taken a little bit of time to reflect at the simple need that we as humans have? Why does it mean so much to us? Is being right a good thing? You may have heard the saying, would you rather be right or happy? I invite you to explore this topic with us during the first podcast of this 4-part series on being right. Hi Madhu, how are you?
Oh, hi Adina. Just fine. How about yourself?
I'm very well, thank you, and I'm really happy to be here with you again for another podcast.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. So, what do you have for me today?
I think you will enjoy this topic, and I hope our listeners will as well. How about being right?
Wow. Okay. That's a good one. We all want to be right, don't we?
Okay, we're not getting into it yet. As
Okay.
usual, I have a series of questions, and I
Okay.
feel like this is such an obvious, and I'm putting obvious in quotation marks. It's just something that we all deal with every day, so to speak, the being right aspect, that maybe it's time to just sit down and explore it more. So here's my
Yeah.
first question for you. Why do
Okay.
people love being right?
Why do people love being right?
It's in us. We enjoy it. There's like a satisfaction. It's like a little thrill when you tell someone, oh no, Beethoven was born in, and now I set up myself because I don't know the year that Beethoven is born. I just know it was 250 years ago. So why do we enjoy so much showing other people that we're right?
And I totally agree. It gives us a thrill. It gives us a satisfaction. I think it stabilizes us. It's sort of an identity. When I'm right, I am. It's almost like as we would have this connection between to know that I really exist, I have to prove that I'm right. Um, I think it's an ego thing. The the ego needs to prove itself over and over again. And one way of proving itself is that it's right. And the funny thing is, I I just had a discussion with my husband yesterday, and our car has problems, and so we discussed what kind of problems the car might have, and I threw out ideas, and of course, the man being the man, he thought that his ideas were more right than my ideas. And then we ended up discussing why it is so important that one has to be right and that we cannot just simply share hypotheses and ideas, and because we both are no car mechanics really. So there's a drive to it. And I mean, we have another podcast on conflict. So I think those two topics are tying in together. So the urge that I have to be right and that somehow it feels existential. Doesn't it feel existential to us? We have to be right.
I totally understand how being right is part of who we are and relates to our identity, and it definitely has to do with our ego. So it prompts me to ask you the following question I had: is this a good thing? Is this good that we strive so much being right? Because these days, when we talk about ego, it doesn't necessarily have a good connotation. So is it a good thing that we want so badly to be right all the time? Is it good for us in the sense of, is it constructive? Is it helping us maybe achieve things in our lives? Is it helping us build the relationships that we want?
Well, I almost want to turn the question back to you and ask you. So, do you feel it's helpful when this urge of being right comes on? Is it supportive for a relationship? I mean, do you feel that it's helpful, that you want to be right, that you have an opinion?
I think, okay, so first of all, for me, I think having an opinion is a little bit different from being right. Because I can have my own opinion, but make it clear to the other person that I'm not saying this is right. This is just my opinion. That's one thing. And then, right? And then another aspect is I think I've learned throughout the years, or I really try to train myself not to be so attached to this being right. Maybe because of this, because not only that I've learned that a lot of times maybe I wasn't right. So it's like sabotaging myself. And maybe there are other people who do that. They get so attached to this idea of like, I know I'm right, that they get they are blind to other things happening. So for me, I can't say that it has affected my relationship simply because I learned to let it go, so to speak. I'm not like, I would rather, you know how they say, do you want to be happy or right? So I choose being happy. And I do acknowledge that I'm not omniscient, and I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm not right. I don't have a problem admitting I'm not right. That's what I'm trying to say. But I think there are people who do want to be right, or maybe when it comes to intellectual discussions, it gives me more of a thrill being right. But to me, that's different from relationships.
What I heard was that you didn't find it too helpful for a relationship. And I like the differentiation between opinion and being right. And I think the urge of being right has something to do with the need for psychological security. So it seems like we need something we can hold on to. And the feeling of being right seems to offer to us this something to hold on to. But then what it also does is it closes doors, and this is what I seem to understand from your answer. It closes options, and instead of opening up a room in a conversation, and might it be either in business or private, instead of opening up possibilities, oriented conversations, when there's someone at the table, or when who is at the table needs to be right, then it gets just really tight and narrow, and we're really losing the possibility of finding the best option, because then at the end it's about who is right and who can push his or her opinion down the throat of whoever else is at the table. So this is what I'm hearing, what I was hearing out of your answer.
And now, from your reply to my answer, I'm starting to get the feeling that being right is also not just a form of validation. It's like I get the validation that I need when I'm right, but it's also starting to feel like a control thing.
Yeah, I think that ties in what I call psychological security. So I think it's one basic need that we all have. We need to feel secure, so we don't want to feel threatened, and either physiological or psychological. So now in our Western world, and especially middle class people, most of the time we feel physically secure. We have enough to eat. There are no wild animals and
no hunting. We're not going to.
yeah, exactly. And I'm not, and I'm really aware that there are a lot of people out there who don't even have that physiological security in their life. But I want to really focus on the psychological security, so that I don't feel that my psychological being doesn't feel threatened. And especially in a business environment where there's high competition, people, I think that there's often like the atmosphere of survival. So I need to survive a meeting. I need to survive a presentation. It's like when they critique me, it's my job is on the line, and
or to stand out, I need to ask a question to get noticed.
Yeah, exactly. And then they might judge me or rate me, or my boss might not like what they hear, and so and especially when there's a lot of change and insecurity, and when there are people getting laid off, and I know I have my I still have to pay the payments for my house, and I have to care for my family and whatever. So this all accounts for psychological insecurity, that I just feel threatened, and it's existential. And I think this is where feeling right comes in as a mechanism, where we try to gain back control. So this is what I know. And so I know this little piece, and so this is a fact, and I can hold on to it. And this little piece that I know, I can control. And so this then is our, well, I guess it's in that moment the best way we know how to stabilize ourselves, and try to get some sort of secure feeling again.
Thank you for listening to the first podcast of the 4-part series that discusses the concept of being right. I hope you have a better understanding of the possibilities that can open or close when being right becomes the center of attention in a given situation. I invite you to share your thoughts and comments with Madhu directly by emailing her at madhu@einsiedler.at, or leave your feedback on her social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. And don't forget to listen to the following episode of this series.